we've been speaking throughout the morning about just the amount of unprecedented events in connection with Israel's war against Hamas. But what we're also seeing is an unprecedented mobilization as thousands of ultra-Orthodox are now volunteering for the IDF. Just this morning, 150 Haredim arriving at a recruitment office in Tel Aviv to do exactly that, to draft.
Which is surprising and not surprising, because as you said, you know what? Everybody is mobilizing themselves towards something that will help those who need help. Since the Simchat Torah was over and we started to grasp the magnitude of this event, everybody sprang into action. So you see people in action on civil places like, in hotels and other places that need help. And some people feel like they would be fulfilled better in the army. When I started checking out who is going there, you know what? I myself spreaded the link so people could register and come there. And I know who came and asked, how could I do that? So it's mainly people who received a dismissal from the army ages ago through what Yair Lapid did in 2013. So they went on with their lives, and many of them are working, and they feel like, okay, anyway, I'm not working now. I'm working less because of the war. So they want to be in action. They want to be where they feel like they could fully fulfill themselves and give into this nation's effort to survive.
How does this fit into the narrative of ultra-Orthodox refusing to serve in the army? I want to point out that the 150 volunteers this morning were mainly members of the Lithuanian sect, but there is a fortune of different factions within the ultra-Orthodox community, and we can't generalize between all of them. But do they all hold the same narrative, or are there splinters that hold different viewpoints?
I would like to repeat something that my colleague Yishai Cohen said yesterday on Channel 12. This is not a change of narrative about the importance of learning Torah. You see that those who came are not people who came from yeshiva and they said, okay, I'm closing the Talmud and I'm coming to the army to serve there. Those are people who are already working, and they said, forget about what people around me might be thinking, because, as you said, they are coming from the Lithuanian community, which is very strict about people who are going to the army. They are the hardest about people who are going to the army, unlike Sephardic people or Hasidic people who are different communities, and they are more accepting people who are being drafted to the army. And they said, okay, now it's a time of war. This is where I can contribute, and nobody is going to say anything bad about them. I'm sure of that. I'm certain of that. I don't think it's going to last in that magnitude after the war. What I do think is that people who could do that and are not learning would think twice before they start working. I think they would first go to the army, which is something that I've been saying for years. If you can't sit and learn and contribute to our nation by learning, you should go to the army. So they're just taking on this attitude and going on with it.
Tzippy, in the last couple of weeks, even months, the criticism over the draft law and also perceived draft dodging has been immense. Is there a sense of remorse here, or simply nothing more than deep patriotism and wanting to serve the nation? What is the motivation? You mentioned that a lot of them are coming from the fact that they've either already been told no by the army for previous drafts, or the fact that they are working. But it's not just that sect. That is specifically 150 this morning. There's over 2,000 people in this ultra-Orthodox community that want to volunteer. What is their key motivation here?
The feeling that we should be part of the war in any way that could be. And they ask. I see them, on social media, on Haredi social media, which is mainly WhatsApp. They're asking, where can I contribute? Please put me in some place that I could give more than what I'm giving now, and so on. So if the army is opening its gates, and it's an initiative that was started by Rabbi Ram Ra'avad, who was the rabbi of the Air Force in the past, and he felt like he could mobilize people into joining the army and give their part. They're not going to battle, they're going to support the battle, but they are in the back units, not in the front units, and they could give whatever they give, and they come there in order to do that. but it's not part of what was before the war. You know, war has different laws for all of us. And I don't think many people liked the law even beforehand, meaning it was too harsh, like spitting in the faces of some people. And I'm not saying here that learning Torah is anything less, but the most important thing that it should be. I also don't think it the way it was done in the law, and people felt that. So they're not coming against the law. This action is not coming against the law. It's just merely, I'm a patriot and I'm coming here. And they were not learning before. And many of them are saying, if you can still learn, stay there. But my part is being there. And my 2 cents about it, I don't think this law is going to being even raised again in the Knesset once the war is over.
Absolutely, no doubt. Will be interesting to see how it unfolds once the war is over. But first, duty calls. Tzippy Yarom, a Haredi journalist, thank you so much for joining me from Jerusalem.
Thanks for having me.